Guys, what is up? It is a Kansas Kid. I am still on track to staying strict with my stacking. Um, Still have my plan, still working on it. I did pick up one more 125th of the gold Philharmonics. That's going to bring me to 7 of those. So I'm kind of happy about that. I'm getting ready to do my next purchase for my Scottsdale stacker. And why I'm trying to stay strict with this is because I've got 6 of them. I need 4 more. So 40 more ounces is kind of going to get me back level with the rest of my stack. It's kind of why I'm trying to do this. Is for the past, I don't know, year and a half or two probably, I was buying a lot more of the vintage silver and stuff like that. The kind of pieces I liked, and I went after it, kind of molding my stack how I wanted it. And then I got a little heavy on the vintage silver. I like to keep my stack well balanced, well rounded, even esque. You know what I'm saying? I like to have generic silver. I like to have just generic bullion. That's easy to liquidate, easy to get rid of, and I need some more of it. I'm just not happy where my generic weight is at. And the reason that is right now is because uh um probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I traded a lot of my weight for gold. And it was, and I don't really follow the GSR that much, but it was like in the upper 70s. And I went ahead and traded a bunch of it off for gold. So my generic weight, a lot of my stuff, my bars and stuff, I got rid of and switched to gold. So just the idea of what I want to do is I want to get that silver weight back up. So I'm pretty happy where my gold is at right now. I'm just kind of slowly, steady dripping a little bit at a time. Like I said, a 125th. If I can find those on a good deal or sell or a spot deal, I'll get them. I'm really liking the 110th stuff now. I've always liked the 110th stuff, but that's kind of where I'm going to be more focused on. Because fractional gold, to me, that's a good play. It just makes sense. But yeah, so being strict on my stacking is very important for me, especially coming up probably for the rest of the year. I'm not too far off on my silver, probably 40 more ounces. I think once I get 100 ounces of these stackers, I'll kind of be back in that, decent balance. But, with that being said, I did just buy some more vintage silver, bought some vintage 5-ounce bars. But, got to keep that balance. So that's what I'm doing still. I'm still staying strict to my stacking and what's going on. If silver went up 5, 6, $7, would I still feel like, oh, I need to spend the money to get 40 more ounces? No, not really. I'm sitting good on weight. I just like to keep it balanced from different things. Because your vintage stuff, it's a different market. You guys know how that works anyway. And it's just to have just cheap bullion that is very, very easy to get rid of. You don't have to think about getting rid of it. You can take it down to the shop or if you know someone, whatever it is. But it just goes for whatever they're giving you as far as off the spot. There's no secondary market. Now, I think it's important to have silver that doesn't have a secondary market. Gold too, that doesn't have a secondary market. It just makes it easier. There's different ways to sell silver, and if you've never sold silver at all, I suggest that you do, and you experience that process in different ways. Peer to peer or to a shop or auction site, whatever it may be. But it's important to have generic weight that you don't have to think about You don't have to go back to your logs and your Excel spreadsheets and all that stuff and see what you have in it, because it doesn't matter. Having multiple avenues with your stack and how to, offload that stuff is extremely important. So, I suggest to anyone that if you don't have just generic weight in your stack, that you should definitely get some. Or if you don't have enough of it, you should definitely get it. I mean, this is a tool, and I'm not saying there's anything bad, with collecting and stuff like that. I love it too. There's so many awesome pieces out there. Just think about, using it as a tool. If you're going to in the future, that's what I have in mind. I have in mind that this is going to be something that I can, offload a little bit here and there whenever I need extra cash for my retirement. Not a whole lot, because I do keep it balanced as far as percentage wise. I try to keep it somewhat balanced with this and some crypto and stocks. Property is a big thing with me. I got more in property than anything else, but having a percentage of a little bit, and it's just about keeping it balanced, guys. About keeping it balanced, and remember that you're using this for a tool. That this is going to be, turned into something that could be better for you one day, or your kids, or whatever it may be. But the idea is, you have this stuff because it's to eventually one day use it. Because if you never use it, what's it good for, right? So, what are your thoughts on it? Guys, let me know. I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you soon.